Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles and welcome to Saturday at 2:30, the video podcast I do every Saturday, 2:30 Central Time, here on YouTube, and then putting a copy of it up on my YouTube channel after I've had a chance to clean it up a bit. I'm a life coach and a consulting hypnotist, and my topic every week has something to do with life coaching, the hypnotic arts and sciences, or perhaps spiritual topics, as I am a retired board certified chaplain and a clergyman. Today, I want to talk about indulgence. That should be fun. Now, indulgence means to satisfy a desire or a wish. It means kind of giving way to one's desires, gratifying yourself, doing something that makes you happy for no other reason. Now, the key thing, and if you take away nothing else from my podcast today, take this away. What makes indulgences okay is they're harmless. They don't hurt other people or yourself in any meaningful way. If you're doing something that actually does harm others or seriously harms yourself, then it's not an indulgence, it's an exploitation. And they're not okay. Indulgences are doing something that you desire just for the pleasant experience of it, but that is basically harmless. It's a form of self-care. And let me tell you that here in Western civilization, in my opinion, we are seriously messed up on the whole theme of self-care. And this has come from our Judeo-Christian heritage. And this is the dark side of that heritage, where things got seriously misunderstood and mistranslated. The key thing for my topic today is something that Jesus of Nazareth said in the Sermon on the Mount. You'll find that in the Gospel of Matthew, 5th chapter. In this, I'm going to read it to you. This is the New Revised Standard Version. You've heard that it was said of them of old time that thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman in lust, with her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee, so that thy whole body not be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should itself be cast into hell. Ye have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Yet I say unto you, do not resist evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn then the other also. And if any man will sue thee at law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with them too. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not away. Say what? Really? You're never supposed to look at a pretty woman or a studly guy? You're actually supposed to cut off parts of your body if they might lead you into sin, but there were no armless, eyeless people among the apostles. Don't oppose anything that bad people are up to. Just let them have sway. If you got a cancer growing on the world like Idi Amin, you just let him kill people. Give anyone anything they ask you for or sue you for. Give an unsecured loan to anyone who wants one. Really? No. Jesus of Nazareth spoke Aramaic, a transitional language between Hebrew and Greek. But the New Testament is written in Greek. And when it was translated, certain assumptions were made by the people writing at the time according to their own biases and predispositions. Aramaic does not have punctuation. So there was no way an Aramaic speaker could express exclamation except by using hyperbole, exaggeration. So when Jesus said, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out and throw it away, for a better part of your body be disposed of than the whole, he was exaggerating. If he said, if someone wants your coat, give them your cloak also, he was exaggerating. He was just saying, be a kind and generous person. And the hearers, who also spoke Aramaic, understood that. But when it got translated into Greek, it got translated literally. And people have taken that up with this notion that somehow it's praiseworthy to engage in some sort of self-destructive care for others. That you got into the cultural mindset that self-care was wrong or healthy prudence was wrong. It's not what was intended in the original tongue, but it's what was passed down to us in our culture. And this is why in Western culture, which comes from the Judeo-Christian ethical basis, we're seriously messed up on the whole theme of self-care. Now, to give you another scriptural example of this, take what's called the second great commandment. You'll find this in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22. Jesus said unto them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. Okay. And the second is like unto the first. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and all the prophets. Now, get that last one clearly. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's an equation. It does not say, love your neighbor better than you love yourself. It doesn't say that at all, and it doesn't mean that. It actually contradicts the Sermon on the Mount if you take it literally, which is why you shouldn't take that literally. We're supposed to take as good a care of ourselves as we do of others. That's the theme of that part of the New Testament. And admitting my liberal bias, I take the Bible as a doctrine of psychology, not so much theology. But the cultural testimony here is that self-care is good. We're supposed to do it. And we're supposed to be generous and kind and all of that stuff, but we're not supposed to take better care of others than we do of ourselves. But many of us do. Self-care is the stuff we do to benefit ourselves without hurting the legitimate needs of others. Basically, it's indulgence. We take care of ourselves. We do things that are good for us and happy-making for us just because we're worth being made happy. It's not selfish. We're considering our own needs, in many cases operationally, as a way of taking care of others. I often say, if the cabin loses pressure in an aircraft, you put your own mask on first before you help anyone else. Because if you try to help someone else first, you're both going to pass out. You can't be there for other people if you're not going to be there for yourself. And the way you're there for yourself is self-care. And one of the ways you do self-care is by practicing healthy indulgences. Now, I'm a hard-working guy, but I do still indulge myself. Little things. I love coffee. And we buy a very high-grade, expensive form of coffee and make it using a high-pressure system here. In fact, you'd probably be startled if you looked at my food budget and saw how much goes out to coffee. But I do that as a way of taking care of myself. It's just a nice thing for me. So that when I have my morning coffee or coffee during my days, which can be long days, I'm having something that really brings me a little moment of delight. It's an indulgence. Yeah, I could get Maxwell House if I wanted to, but this is a way of taking care of me. Now, like most guys, I have to shave. And in my case, I got a lot of territory to shave every morning. But I don't get out there with my big disposable. I lather up using a mug and brush, and I use a silver tip badger bristle brush, the finest made. My shaving soap that comes out of that shaving mug is actually custom formulated by an apothecary with a scent that has a deep meaning for me. When I take my razor. It is not something I got for $2 at the drugstore. It's the Gillette heated razor, which actually has a hot bar that warms up and gives you the feeling as if your head were wrapped in hot towels, the way a barber would give you a shave. So in the morning, it's a hot lather and hot razor shave for me. Could I use a $2 Bic and still get a decent shave? Sure. But it wouldn't be anywhere near as pleasant as starting my day with that wonderful hot lather. That's just something I do for me, as a way of showing my unconscious mind that I'm important. I'm worth some good things just because they're fun. Doesn't take away from anyone. I can afford this. It's not like I can't feed my family or my cats because I buy expensive shaving soap. It's an indulgence. It's self-care. And self-care is good. Be hardworking. Be kind. Be generous. Take as good of care of yourself as you do of others. And collect your earned rewards for their real possessions. In fact, that's what I call the indulgences in my life. They're not sinful, bad things, they're earned rewards. And they keep me motivated and they keep me going. And I hope yours can do the same for you. Thank you for your time and attention today. I will be back next Saturday at 2:30 with another talk on a different topic. If you are watching this on Facebook, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you're catching it up on my YouTube channel, please subscribe and also share and like. I like getting as much traction out of these videos as I can because they do help people to judge from the feedback that I receive. Thank you much. Do well. Stay safe.